Well, it's time now for our health report, and joining us now is Africa 54 health correspondent Linord Moudou with news of a link between vitamin B and cancer. Linord.
That's right, Vincent. New research from Ohio State University says men who take vitamin B6 and B12 supplements daily over a long period of time are doubling the risk for lung cancer and tripling the risk if they smoked. The study, published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, followed more than 77,000 participants aged 50 to 76 who took these specific B vitamins daily over a 10-year period. As individual sources rather than as multivitamins, vitamins B12 and B6 caused the most risk, with a 30% to 40% increased risk, respectively, for lung cancer in men after 6 years. After 10 years, the risk was nearly doubled. Men who smoked prior to beginning the study and took vitamin B supplements saw the risk increase triple. Now, conflicting headlines on the value of nutrients like omega-3 and vitamin D can create doubt among consumers who aren't sure how important or necessary it is to take supplements. Joining me in the studio for more on the subject is Karen Howard, Executive Director of the Organic and Natural Health Association. Karen, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much for having me.
So when we hear reports like this, it really makes you wonder, how important is it to take supplements?
So one of the things that I think came out of that study that people should focus on is that the one point in time that they measured those vitamin B levels is what they based the results of the study on. The key takeaway for that is, do you know what your vitamin levels are? And most people don't. It's become much more prevalent that physicians will take a measure of your vitamin D level and will report that back to you. And many people then just move on and walk through life with that. I believe she said that I had a low vitamin D level. Mm-hmm. So what happens is that we don't know if we're really deficient in all these nutrients. We aren't really certain how much we should take. And if we're not managing the information around what our levels change to be, we're really left in the dark with as little information as when we started.
So how do we find out our vitamins level, and how do we become better educated about this?
A couple of different ways to do that. We have a wonderful, just very dense site in terms of lots of information called nutrientpower.org, which will talk to you about the many nutrients that most people are very deficient in and the ways to be able to manage that deficiency. Mm-hmm. What we're most excited about right now is the work that we're doing to monitor vitamin D and omega-3 levels. I can take a test personally in the comfort of my own home without getting in the car and without the expense of a doctor's appointment, and very quickly get the results back and know what my omega-3 levels are and my vitamin D levels.
And this is specifically for those two. Why? Why are these two so important?
The vitamin 2 research that's been going on in this arena with our research partners, 7 years old, 12,000 people are engaged in that research, individuals like you and me, just every 6 months testing their levels. Mm-hmm. Adding on omega-3 to that is a logical next step for us to see the impact of a nutrient profile on healthcare outcomes. They work very closely together in the body. They are two of the most prevalent nutrients that people take on a daily basis, and yet many people quit taking them because they don't see the health outcomes right away from what it is they're doing.
So what are the most important things that consumers need to know when they are looking for vitamin supplement?
When you go to select your vitamins and your supplements, there are a few things you know, and this information is also at nutrientpower.org. One, pay attention to the labels. If you see claims that seem too good to be true, to cure disease, treat disease, put those right back on the shelf. That's against the law. The dietary supplement world is regulated. It's the most regulated of all foods. These companies adhere to manufacturing practices, and their labels are all required to be a certain way by law. So when you look at, much like you look at a box of cereal, the #1 ingredient on the label is what's in the capsule or the pill or the solution. So look at the labels, look at the claims, call customer care. on the bottle and see if they can answer your questions about why I should take this particular product. See if they're responsive. Go to their websites. Look and see how transparent they are about where they get the ingredients for their products. Those are just a few tips.
Now, are there some telltale signs to know that perhaps you are vitamin D deficient or you need more omega-3? Let's say you don't have a test kit. What do you do?
So I think
or how do you increase
that? So people talk about increasing their nutrient load by foods. With vitamin D, that's very difficult to do. It's actually impossible to do. Okay. So to do that on your own, and you can basically walk around with an assumption that you are, since 40 to 70% of the world is vitamin D deficient. You need to be out in the sun if you're not on the equator, 20 minutes a day with the majority of your skin showing, and do that 2 to 3 times a week, or if you have dark skin pigmentation, 2 to 3 times that. So that's your issue with vitamin D. And with omega-3s, the recommendation is 2 servings a week, if you can do that, of great fish.
Okay, Karen Howard, thank you so much for joining us.